So guys, welcome to B Sports Picks. So yesterday we went 5-0. I talked about 4 of these plays right in this video. I didn't tell you exactly how I was going to take them because I just didn't know. When I was doing the research, I figured out some stuff. I gave away the 4 plays that I was looking at. All 4 of them hit. However, one of them I had to buy back some points. I'm going to show you the receipts for that. And then I'm going to talk about 2 plays, one in college and one in the NBA. There's also other stuff that I'm looking at, but there's a lot of contradictions. Also, since there's so many contradictions, you're going to have to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. But I'll give you the 2 plays that I'm looking at very strongly. Even in this strong play that I believe, there's a slight contradiction that's very important, and I'm going to explain that to you. If you haven't done so, please make sure you subscribe. Like I said, in this video yesterday, I gave away 4 plays. All 4 of them hit. I actually did one live also. So all 5 actually won. I'm going to show you the receipts. So here we go. Yesterday was a 5-0 sweep. I talked about 4 of these on this video. We got actually very lucky on this one. You can see Toronto actually lost by 9, but I bought that back to a 9.5. I did say I like Toronto in this position. However, OKC is a very strong team. I did mention all the injuries and stuff, so OKC ended up still demolishing them. However, they did not cover that plus 10, so I ended up winning this leg of it. Also, I ended up taking the 246 on the under. They ended up hitting 245. So both of these legs were very, very close, and we were on the lucky side yesterday, so I'll take it. I also liked the 76ers. I just didn't like them to cover the spread. You can see they won very easily right here. I talked very deeply on why the 76ers should win, but because I didn't want to wait around to see if Embiid was going to play or not, I ended up buying it back to the -3.5, and I took the Hawks at a very heavy favorite. You can see both of these games were very easily won. This one was a little bit fish here. I gave all the reasoning. I did say all the injuries and stuff. They ended up winning by 16. We only needed them to win by 6. So that one came through for us also. And then this is the one I did not talk about at all. The other 4 I did talk about, but this one I put it into the VIP directly. And then the last one here was when I saw that this number had got inflated all the way up to 249 at that same other game that I was talking about, which was the Timberwolves and the Trailblazers. I ended up buying that back to 249.5. They ended up, again, hitting 245, so that was a win as well. So anyways, guys, that was a perfect record yesterday, 5-0. If you were in this video yesterday, I gave away 4 of those for free. The only 2 is that I actually bought them back on a few points on a couple of them. And I did mention that because I had not looked at the odds and stuff like that until after I created the video. Anyways, if you want access to this stuff, go make sure you click on where it says free picks. I'm also going to give you guys the 2 leans that I really like for today. And before I do that, let me give you the posters and then I'll get started right away. So these are not our final plays. These are just strong leans, meaning that these players right here, they're hitting their lines very consistently. So for example, Paul Reed, he's hit this 14.5, 6 games in a row and so on. Take a screenshot of this. Also, you should subscribe, and because whenever we post these every single day, they're going to be inside the posts on YouTube. These are not our final plays. These are just strong streaks for players that are hitting their lines. Same thing with the shots on goal. NHL is back. I actually like an under on one of the plays. If I end up doing that, I'll throw it into the VIP later today. But otherwise, just take a screenshot. These are some shots on goal that you might want to consider. Again, you might want to even stay away from these right now because they just came back from this long 2 to 3 week break because of the Olympics. So be careful with that. All right, guys, let me get right into it. This is going to be the Florida Gators versus the Texas Longhorns. You can see the projected scores. They're supposed to win by 8. The Gators have actually played against the Longhorns. They hit 9 out of the last 11 games. Now, these are some situational insights, which is head-to-head. In the last 11 games that they've played each other, the Gators have beat them 81% of the time. They've also gone on the over 66% of the time. Now, if we look at the projections here, it's a very strong team on both sides. Overall is 98%. Overall is 95% over here. However, the Florida does have a 75% win probability. These are a bunch of other numbers here. I've already gone through all the research. You can see there's got a bunch of information here. I've already gone through all of this. And what I will tell you is that Florida does have the top 5 ranked team in the country. I'm just going to give you some very key indications out of all this information. You can see against the spread, Florida is 9-1 against the spread whenever they're favorites. So that's a dramatic, and they're top 5 in the country, as well as top 3 in rebounding. I actually don't like the spread right here because I think it's at a -6.5 right now. but it says that they should be winning by 8. I'm actually taking this straight up. I'm not going to pay the juice. I'm going to parlay with something else, but I do like the Gators to win in this position. And you can see the projected spread right now is the Gators to win by 8. If you want access to this tool right here, it's called the SharpEdge. You can get that in the link in the description for 2 weeks for free. Now, let me get back into the dashboard here. You can see all these line moves. Let me get into this actually. So the other team that I'm looking at is the Pistons for NBA, but there's some contradictions there, like I had mentioned in the beginning of this. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to play it a little bit different. I'm going to look around and see what I can find, if there's anything to find. But I've already gone through most of this stuff, and there's really nothing that stood out. So I will look at the Pistons towards the end. And again, I will kind of go through this with you in this video. So I'm going to, again, use this SharpEdge tool. First thing I want to look at is this dashboard. And you can see, I like to see the back-to-back. So OKC is on a back-to-back. Detroit is on a one-day rest advantage, as you can see right here. And Detroit is supposed to win this game by, 8 points. Toronto is at home on a back-to-back. The Spurs are on a one-day rest advantage. Golden State is on a back-to-back. Memphis is on a one-day rest advantage. Cleveland and Milwaukee are both on a back-to-back. So this actually, you might want to look on the under. Boston is on a back-to-back, and Denver is on a one-day rest advantage. So basically, the thing that matters here is the rest advantage. Detroit, Spurs, Memphis, Denver, and then both teams, Cleveland and Milwaukee, are both back-to-back. So I'm going to look at this game right here, but let me kind of go through this very quickly. You got the Spurs are supposed to win by 4. The Raptors got demolished yesterday by 9. They ended up covering the spread at a 9.5 for us, though. And then we got the Warriors and the Grizzlies. The Warriors are on a back-to-back. Rockets and the Kings. That's the other. There's another one that popped up for me. I'll take a look at it so I can explain what happened and why I'm staying away from it. So Rockets is supposed to win. The Kings are just straight trash right now. They got so many injuries. They're just tanking completely. Then we got the Cavaliers and the Bucks. So if you did want a parlay piece, you might want to look at the Rockets money line, but that's up to you. Now we got Cavaliers and the Bucks. It does say Cavaliers are supposed to win by 7, but again, they're both on a back-to-back, and I know Giannis is still missing. Now we got the Nuggets. Boston played yesterday, and then the Nuggets is rested at home, and it's supposed to be a 3-game stretch right there. Let me quickly talk about this over-under on why I skipped it. You can see right here it's 102 and 120, so that 222. And we go down here, the line actually opened at a 219, and it's currently at a 221. So the line actually went up. And 76% of the bets, 76% of the money is coming in on the over. So the sharps are matching the public. I don't like that. And also the under does contradict over here. There's too many contradictions. The one thing I will tell you is whenever it's a big blowout like this, like the Rockets are supposed to win by 17 points, then the over does tend to go over. Also, the defense over here is just straight trash. This is a F-rated defense. So that's going to affect the under. So for all these reasons, that's why I stayed away from the under on this game. All right, now let's take a look at the Pistons. Again, they're supposed to win by 8. The line is actually minus 6.5. It's currently at a minus 7.5. I just looked it up before I created this video, and this hasn't been updated. It's actually now at a minus 5.5. Let me actually go back and confirm that. And that's the reason I'm staying away from this one. So the Pistons actually, now that I'm looking at this, is they went from a minus 6.5. They're currently at a minus 8. So the Pistons, here's the other game that I was looking at. The line is, they're supposed to be winning by 8. The current line is it was at 6.5 when it opened. It's 7.5 now. This has not been updated as of this morning, but this actually shifted to a minus 8. Now you can see 64% of the money is coming in on OKC. And yet 64% of the bets is coming in on OKC, and the money is split. So if the money is split, why is the line shifting 3 points? Now you can see overall trends are decent. I talked about the OKC yesterday. If you want to go deeper into that, I broke it down completely, but you can see I'm going to give you the big pointers here. Pistons is 76% chance they're going to win at home. They also hit the under, and then you can see the big mismatch over here, except for the defense. Now, Detroit is almost 80% chance win probability on this. There's a deeper research. They got all this information here. I'm not going to get into every single one of those details, but you can if you want. And also make sure you get this tool. And then we got Shea Alexander's out, Jalen Williams is out, Mitchell is out, and they're on a back-to-back. So Detroit should be winning this game pretty easily. I'm not sure if they're going to cover this spread because Thunder do cover the spread. However, their defense is amazing. So you have to be careful with that, even with the injuries. So what I would do is use this as a parlay piece, the Pistons on the money line, or buy it back to like a -3.5 or something like that. That's how I would play this. Now, before I give you the final thing that I was going to talk about, I do like Florida and I do like the Pistons, but go to make sure you get the free picks. Also, subscribe to this channel so you can get those posters and you can get alerts whenever I post these free picks. Also, check out the VIP. If you want to check us out for one day, there it is right there. I just opened up the Discord back up again. If you guys want to check that out, it's right here. And then if you want the free tool for 2 weeks, go to where it says SharpEdge. On the SharpEdge specifically, somebody hit $5,000 the other day. I showed one play where this guy hit $80,000 and they followed the exact same play and so did I, but they put way more money than I did and they hit for $5,000. So that's part of the SharpEdge now. I actually just cleaned it up. Let me kind of quickly show you what I did and then I'll give you the quick breakdown on the rest of the NBA. So this is called the Poly Tracker. It basically tracks the top wallets in the on Poly Market. If you don't know what this is, go to the link in the go into my videos and you'll see where it says how I beat Kalshi and Poly Market. There's a video there about 2 days ago. I created that. Anyways, you can see right here, I've updated this as of yesterday. This guy again, he has a $6.2 million. That's the same guy that had the $80,000 bet. And then you can see all his positions here. You can see he's got a UFC fight there, and then you got all these other ones. Actually, I'll go deeper into one of these positions so that you can see what I'm talking about. So what I like to do actually is I like to sort this by who has the most money. And then I like to look at over here who has active bets, but they don't have a dramatic amount of bets like this guy, 505, 141. I don't like to look at that because that's just like a spray and pray kind of deal. What I like to look at instead is to look at these guys that have like 6 bets, 3 bets, and 8 bets, and so on. But anyways, let me click on this view positions. And you can see for March 1st, this guy has this guy, Karakaite, $37,000. However, you can see that this profit and loss, what this means is that it's actually dropping in value. So you want to be careful with these kind of things. Even though he's throwing in $37,000, the value of it dropped from when he first put this in. So anyways, that's a UFC fight from Karakaite. I think that's how you say it. Let me zoom in on that so you can see. For February 25th, which is today, he's got Paris Saint-Germain. He's got 23 grand on this one. Okay, for the Celtics, he's got the under, and that's going to be for tomorrow's game, and so on. Okay, so anyways, I'm not going to keep going on this. This is called the Poly Tracker. Basically tracks all these people that are throwing in big money, active bets, and then this top ROI, somebody asked me about this. Just so you know, this is the top 50 people, and it constantly shifts. So this is actually dynamically updated, and these are short-term win rates of the top 50 people. That does not mean that they hit 100% of the time all the time. This is just the top 50 people that are very hot, and we're able to track their active bets. I hope that makes sense. All right, finally, you can see right here, this is the card that I was looking at overall. The confidence level, this one is actually very strong, but I just told you why I'm staying away from it. This is the Kings and the Houston. These guys are straight trash on defense and everything like that. I don't like it, so I'm staying away. Everything else is below the threshold that I like to look at. You can see only a few things are aligning, and that's why I'm not even looking at the rest of this slate. There's a lot of contradictions. Even the stuff that looks strong, there's too many contradictions to look at. So I already did the research. I don't like the rest of this stuff. I do like the Pistons and Florida, and then I'm going to go take another look at the Poly Market and the Kalshi market and go from there. But for now, I already gave you guys 2 plays, and we were on a sweep. I really do appreciate you guys. We're about 4,400 subscribers. Let's get to 5,000 by the end of the month. Also, if you want to check out that Kalshi tracker and that Poly Market tracker, that's very, very powerful. These dudes are throwing in $20,000, $30,000, $80,000. So if you're able to track these bets that these guys are throwing in that much money into each bet, you better guarantee that they're either very strong favorites or they know something that we don't know. So go check that out. That's free for 2 weeks. Link is in the description where it says SharpEdge. Also check us out on the Discord and subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's have a great day.